Hey everyone, this is Mike and welcome to Dark Knight in 4 minutes. Let's start off with combos. Dark Knight has only two, one single target combo and an AoE one. The single target combo will regenerate mana on the second hit, and the third hit will also generate 20 blood gauge for you. For AoE we have a two-part combo of which the second hit will restore mana and also generate 20 blood gauge. This blood gauge we can spend on 3 abilities, each costing 50 gauge. Blood Spiller is a single target attack, Quietus is the AoE variant of that, and Living Shadow pulls out your inner darkness to fight alongside you. Living Shadow is the only blood gauge skill that has a cooldown attached to it. We also have a skill called Delirium, which will allow us to use Blood Spiller and Quietus free of charge for 10 seconds, and while this buff is active you will also generate mana when using these skills. Because of the duration you will be able to use 5 attacks while under the effect of Delirium. So that's everything surrounding the blood gauge, but we also have a second gauge called the Dark Side. We can gain the Dark Side buff by using Flood of Shadow, an AoE skill, or Edge of Shadow, a single target skill. Both of these skills cost mana to use and will grant you 30 seconds of Dark Side up to a maximum of 60 seconds. The Dark Side buff increases your damage dealt by 10%. So those are the core abilities of Dark Knight. You do your combos to generate mana and blood gauge, you then spend that mana on your Edge or Flood of Shadow to keep your Dark Side active, and you spend your blood gauge on those powerful attacks. But we still have a few other skills to talk about. Blood Weapon will grant you a 10-second buff during which all of your GCDs will generate 10 blood gauge and also mana. Salted Earth will place a puddle on the floor that deals damage over time to all of the enemies inside of it. Plunge is your gap closer, which can stack up to 2 times. Abyssal Drain deals AoE damage while also restoring your own HP, so it's really good inside of dungeons. And Carven Spit is a single target attack that regenerates mana. So that does it for our offensive attacks. Let's now take a look at our defensive kit. As with all tanks, we have Rampart, 20% damage mitigation, Reprisal, which reduces the outgoing damage from enemies by 10%, and Arm's Length, which reduces the attack speed of enemies by 20%, but this usually only works in dungeons. Shadow Wall is our 30% damage mitigation. Dark Mind reduces the magic damage that we take by 20% and is on a very short cooldown of only 1 minute, but the trade-off is that it only works on magic damage. Living Dead is our ultimate cooldown. You gain a buff for 10 seconds, which is called Living Dead, and if you were to die during these 10 seconds, then this buff will change into Walking Dead. Most attacks can't kill you while Walking Dead is active, but you do need to be healed for 100% of your HP before its duration ends, or you will actually die when the debuff runs out. If you are healed to full HP when the effect is still active, then it will also fade early, so you don't necessarily get the full 10 seconds out of it if that is the case. The Blackest Night is what makes Dark Knight so incredibly strong, defensive-wise, as it will put a 25% HP shield on you or a target party member. The shield strength scales of the target's HP that you used it on. This skill also costs mana to use. If the shield of the Blackest Night was to break before it expires, you will also be granted a Dark Arts. This is indicated by the yellow icon on your gauge and will allow you to use 1 Flood or Edge of Shadow for free, essentially refunding the mana cost that you spend on using the Blackest Night, as all of your mana spenders have the same mana cost. And then last but not least, we have Dark Missionary. This will reduce the magic damage taken by yourself and your party members by 10%. And that does it for Dark Knight in 4 minutes. So I want to thank you for watching, I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.